Hey, brother. Sorry. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. You know where you are. Expert Talk with me, Tigo. And this is our 9 at 9. And I want to tell you right now, when you're doing a live show, one, you definitely want to do something with people that love you and understand that you're crazy. That's one. Two, if you invite them to be on the show, you might want to send them the link. I'm just saying, found it in the inbox, never sent it out. Yeah, but my buddy Sean Malone understands. What's up, Sean?
What's up, Tigo? Yeah, so happy to be here. How you doing, girl?
How are you, man?
I'm so good. I was kind of sweating. I was like, oh, I don't have the link, but then there it was. So like, I just knew you'd come through. I know, no doubt, never.
Woo! Seconds to go. With seconds to go. But if anybody can understand, you can understand, man. You always have 15 things running at the same time. So I know you totally get it.
100%. How are you today?
I'm good. I am fantastic. I had absolutely no sleep last night, thanks to you and my buddy Jill. You know, we're over there looking at a new project. I told you about it. We're going to tell the world. Y'all going to have to wait. We're going to tell you about that soon. But then, you know, I'm talking to you and you're going, okay, well, what group and where do you want to start? And I'm going, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know? And you're guiding me through this darkness called, you know, internet marketing that I thought, I'm Tigo. I got this down. And then I met you and went, I don't have this down. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. What the heck am I doing? Let's talk a little bit about, you know, who you are, what you do, because we know you're Sean, you're my brother from Sales Ascender. But, you know, you've been on the show a couple of times. Thank you so much for that, by the way.
Of course.
You know, but what do you do when you run into a client, you know, kind of like this one, that you expect to be way over here on the right side and find out they're somewhere stuck in neutral up a hill sliding backwards? How does that, you know, how do you react to that? How do you get them to understand step 1, step 2, step 3, move forward?
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't think you're sliding down the hill at all. Tigo, you are number one stunner. What, right? But I like what we do. What we're specialists at is the lost art of prospecting and then high ticket sales. And we take the normal and average traditional salesperson or even a sales professional like yourself and make them a sales ascender, because that's like the next higher level. And so we do that with a series of tools, tactics, techniques, and old school mixed with the new school technology, right? And so that's really where our zone of genius comes from. I've been in the sales game for over 21 years. I've built some pretty decent sized companies, 4 of them into the 8 figures for myself and clients as well. And then, you know, just I've closed over $100 million in deals in my career. But that's not, I mean, like money's one thing. Of course, you got to figure out how to get the money. And when you learn the sales techniques and you learn a method that you can actually use, then you can win all the time. And so what I tell people is like, they come to me, they're like, Sean, I got to get better at sales. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. but we can make you a really good sharpshooter at sales. But where's the conversations? How are you starting conversations? How are you managing these conversations to get into the environment to actually have a sales conversation? And that's the secret piece that most people miss. And there's a lot of sales coaches and trainers out there that say, hey, here's how you get really good at sales. And then that's where they stop, right? But the biggest, the downfall or the gap that I've found over the course of my career is we can do that. That's easy. But it's how do you start and manage conversations to get into that place where you can use those sales skills? Does that make sense, Tigo?
It makes perfect sense to me. And you know, yesterday after the conversation we had, I realized that, you know, you also get stuck thinking your way is the best way and you're just going to add to the platform you're on, not realizing that you're leaving so much behind. You know, I realized that the platform I thought was, you know, the size of Nevada was really this little top of a mountain over at Grand Canyon, that little, you know, you see the guy standing there right before he walks on the line. Yeah, that was me yesterday. So I got to ask you, you know, people are out there, they're going 100 million, 8 figures. These are numbers they can't even imagine doing. And they're just trying to figure out how to go back to work and go back into their brick and mortars and attract more people to come, you know, back out and hang out with them. What would you say to small businesses that are they're getting the rust off, man? COVID's over. Well, it's not over, but we're getting safer in COVID. And they're getting the rust off and they're going, how do I just get 10 more people in my neighborhood to come into my dry cleaners or my restaurant?
Yeah. And I love that question because that's the right focus. And if we stay on that exact focus, then it becomes very simple. Like what we have to do is start conversations. So one of the fastest ways to do it, if you play in the social media space or if you don't, if you have a brick and mortar and you're trying to spool up the small business again, go find a Facebook group as an example. There's lots of groups or congregations, as I call them, and look for a group or something that has, you know, it's in the same lane or the parallel lane of what you're doing. Get into that group and just start conversations with people. Say, hey, you look like a cool dude. I solved this problem. Do you struggle with this? That's a very easy way to start any conversation with anybody in one of those groups. And then from there, you can manage the conversation into a phone call. You can manage them to go to a webinar. You can manage them to go do whatever you want them to do through only if you can solve their problem. And so what I would say, the very first step is just simply get a piece of paper out, like a Google Doc or a spreadsheet, and write down, you know, 3 people's names every day and just be focused on starting 3 new conversations every day. And there's a lot of tools out there that can actually help you do that. In fact, we're launching our new software tool in July. And it's designed from a sales brain, not from a marketing brain. Here's the difference. Marketing brains and the software tools that you can find will start your conversations for you, but then they don't give you any support in managing those conversations to closing a deal. Our software tool is actually starting with, let's start with the closed deal. What's that conversation going back? Oh, here's how you start it, and here's where you find the people. And that's what our software tool will allow you to do, is just bring all those people in there. And so that's what I would say, is just start conversations, at least 3 of them a day, with people who you think can buy your stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I truly believe that people, there's 2 things I want to cover. One, people don't realize Facebook is a search engine. It may not search, you know, everywhere in the world, but Facebook is a world. So if you go into that little search bar and type in almost anything, you can find almost anything. The other side of it is a lot of people still don't realize YouTube is the 2nd biggest search engine in the world. And you can go over there and find, and it conveniently is owned by the number 1 search engine in the world, Google. But you can go over there and find all kinds of information. But there are people out there right now that go, I'm a brick and mortar, man. I don't need the internet. You know, I'm not trying to reach people, you know, 1,000 miles away from me. I just want to reach people right here in my neighborhood. I truly believe if you're not using the internet and you still got an ad in the phone book, we need to talk. But what do you believe?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Even if you're a local brick and mortar, you can get online and you can find people in your zip code. Like, I know a lot of people don't know, Facebook has a marketing side of it, the back end ad side, where you can search demographically or psychographically all the way down to the exact zip code. So you can do the same thing just by doing a search. It's free. Just get on there, look for a group in your neighborhood, write down like some city in Arkansas group, and then that will pop up all those groups. And then you can find people that you can start conversations with. Very simple. Yes.
Wow. He says very simple. So if you're getting started in your tiny business, when do they call Sean and Chris and the wonderful sales ascenders?
Yeah, that's the sooner the better, right? So like come and join our free Facebook group. We have a lot of kick-ass people in there that could definitely help you with a lot of.
Hey man, I can't believe it. Alan cut us off again. But we will put the group on the bottom of the credits. I promise we will. I'm going to get Alan. I swear I am. Thank you, Sean, for being here. Thanks for watching. I'm Tigo, and I'll talk to you next time.